Just to let you know that all fucking theory is word salad. But this is definitely a perfect segue into this type of conversation. What's funny about this shit, right? Is that one, this shit's fucking got commercials, capitalism. Two, this chick right here is apparently probably be running for something, I guess, or stand with Nina or some shit, running campaigns. I thought that was illegal to be having a new. Well, I don't know. I don't know any of that legality, but let's get through this shit. No thing. But that's what I wanted to get to. That's TYT's token black woman. I forgot about that show. But fucking these majority people, they won't, or minority. What are they? Minority? Yeah, it's probably majority because they're all white. Besides when they bring on their tokens. But yeah, token black lady.
Have to actually put in the work of being that convincing because it's like.
Damn, I always got fun. I'm bad at telling stories. So yeah, I was watching this shit earlier. The shit, because it's I don't know. Yo, when the left has nobody to pick on, they'll try to find the fucking person in the room that's trying to lift everybody else up, and they're like, yo, you're doing a little. Oh, and plus you're not for our side. This isn't leftist talk. You're not talking about left. You're talking about from a right hand's point of view. Holy shit, dog! Everything you say is bullshit. You just have a piece of paper that you went to school to acquire, which none of these people have. None of these people have at all, yo. They probably have some sort of degree, but not like this nigga's Sage degree. If you get what I'm saying. But
people can find meaning through the work of Jordan Peterson are wasting people's time on a mass scale. The guy is an absolute charlatan. Here he is. Here's some guy's TikTok, and let's see, what's this guy's name? He's from Oxford, a theologian, I think. What number is this, Bradley?
I should mention Dan McClellan. When you talk about to Peterson trying to appear like he's the smartest guy in the room to people who want someone who sounds smart, it's just like he wields that PhD.
Hold that in the pen too. As these motherfuckers start throwing every fucking word in the book, yo. They rarely use the same word twice, and if they do, they'll use that biggest word at least 4 fucking times.
Like it's the ultimate force of all time, and I mean it's evident here too. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on.
Evident, damn.
Are you trying to find it?
Yeah, no, I do. What's his bio, Bradley?
His name is Dan McClellan. Dude. That's his TikTok is at McClellan M.
These motherfuckers are cheering on a fucking a TikTok guy too, who TikTok can only do like 14 seconds or some shit like that, 15 seconds. How is this dude retorting to somebody in 15 seconds?
K-L-E-L-A-N. I think he's a theologian, though, based on.
It's funny again.
Gotcha. Yeah, and just the way, listen to the amount of bullshit Peterson is spreading to people, and just these are.
Also, too, this is supposed to be as their title says, theology expert exposed Jordan Peterson. I believe it's on fucking the Bible or some shit, yo. Some of that
people that again are going to him in search of something, right? Like unlike a lot of these right wingers, I think he's got fly paper that's a little bit stickier for folks like this, and I think it's horrible that they're led to him, and all these folks that bend over backwards like Connor Friedersdorf to suggest there's actually something there. Nah, they're wasting people's time with a charlatan. Here's
saying
this clip.
Basic shit, yo. They get mad because he says basic stuff.
In many ways, the first book was the Bible.
There are 0 meaningful ways in which the first book was the Bible.
I mean, literally. Because at one point there was only one book. As far as our Western culture is concerned, there was one book.
So there was never a time when this was true, not even within Western culture. But I do note that Jordan Peterson makes grand sweeping claims and then says, I own.
Then notice how, too, nobody ever explains where the fucking first book was. You know what I'm saying? He's saying, imagine it too. Not therapist. What the fuck, yo? Theoretically? Nah, fucking A. Hypothetically. Oh, yeah, I guess, yo. It's just what a theory is. Yeah, he's a theorist. There we go. God fucking damn it. Anyway, the dude's just making a theory, dog. Yeah, the first thing. This dude's jumping right in, but nobody corrects him on this shit. Nobody pulls up a Google, a Wikipedia, nothing. They just say, oh, no, he's wrong. Why? because I don't know Westerns. What my fault.
They care about Western culture, but Western culture was primarily built on classical literature anyway. So
we were talking about.
We don't also know if he's talking about Western American or all of fucking Western. Again, we'll just generalize it into one thing, just so we can infuriate you.
Meaning in text, because we were talking about translation and the problem of understanding text. And
we're getting into my field. I wonder how Dr. Peterson will misrepresent another field that is not his own.
Okay, go on.
The postmodernists make that case that all meaning is derived from the relationship between words. That's wrong because, well, what about rage? That's not words. And what about moving your hand? That's not words. So it's wrong, but...
So I've been racking my brain trying to think of a way to make this criticism make sense.
All right. So, real quick, from a person who's fucking two blunts in right now, all right? Basically, what he is saying is that, all right, we'll make it real simple. When a baby is crying, you run to it, thinking of one of two things. It's hungry, or it's hurt, or something is wrong. In a baby's sense, that is a form of communication. No? We'll take it another step further. When you sit there, you seeing your dog wag its tail fucking frantically every time it sees you, to you, that's a communication that your dog is happy to see you. No? Fucking hell, bro. He's saying rage is the simplest thing, dog, yo. And then there could be no words spoken. You know what I'm saying? No words spoken and fucking something could just pop off, dog. That's basically what he is saying. But my fault, Woody Harrelson. You go. You do it.
Without having to conclude that Dr. Peterson is saying that postmodernists think that there is no meaning that exists outside of linguistic expression. And if that is what Dr. Peterson is saying, he does not have the first clue what postmodernism is.
The more ideas are dependent on a given idea, the more fundamental that idea is.
To a degree. Because there comes a point at which later elaborations on an idea are disconnected from the original.
So is he right or wrong, yo? Again, you're doing like fucking 30 seconds, my guy. Like, what the fuck? So he was right, though, right? To a degree?
Idea.
Shit.
And the folks elaborating on it are not aware of that original idea, do not take recourse to that original idea, do not care about that original idea. At that point, it doesn't mean anything to say that that original idea is fundamental.
Fundamental authors, part of the Western canon, not because of the arbitrary dictates of power, but because those texts influenced more other texts. And then you think about that as a hierarchy, okay, with the Bible at its base, which is certainly the case.
So the Bible only sits at the base of the hierarchy of the Western canon if you are talking about the King James Version specifically. And if you are, then it is there precisely because of the arbitrary dictates of power mixed with historical accident.
Shit.
Yeah, King James.
You sample that whole domain.
So
you build a low-resolution representation of that inside you, and then you listen and see through that. And so it isn't that the Bible is true. It's that the Bible is the precondition for the manifestation of truth.
So it is true that the thematic and lexical influence of the King James Version is sprinkled throughout
what are we arguing about?
English literature
What's
as
the
a whole.
argument?
The notion that means
just want to make an
something
argument
about fundamental truth is nonsense.
Why, though? Why is it nonsense? Oh, my fault. Commercials. These dudes don't like capitalism, so...
About fundamental truth is nonsense.
Well, that's a way to naturalize it so that there is a hierarchy of different kinds of people, and there are people who are savage, and then there are people who are enlightened, like Dr. Jordan Peterson. What the hell is this?
He's rapping.
It's just really funny because he doesn't seem to know anything about the things he talks about, but that was like but the central value of the IDW to like that brand of pundit that like to be like, you know, that likes to write in that kind of pseudo academic fashion. They didn't finish grad school or whatever or get that PhD, but they like use a lot of big words and write like they're writing for a scholarly, journal as opposed to like the Mother Jones or something. It's like Jordan Peterson is like apotheosis of that. He has pivoted a very specific expertise that most people don't have into broad sweeping expertise in every single thing in society. And the fact that he's a psychologist makes people, more amenable to that, because people, our Western canon, at least as it exists today, is very interested in the psychology and how the individual psychology is at the core of, most problems that we exist within. And so people who within our modern pundit society, they do the exact same thing, but they don't even have the benefit of having that PhD in an unrelated field. Wow. Every time I see someone tweeting about some shit online, they just have they'll tell you they have a PhD in history and they're tweeting about something that may or may not be historical, but it's certainly not within their specialty. But we have long since abandoned this idea of real expertise that's provable via factual statements being correct. And it's just about indexing various forms of intelligence through going to school or having a space as a columnist in the op-ed column for some prestige magazine. So frankly, we're seeing a crisis of expertise when it comes to disseminating information to our society that our pundit class is more or less happy to contribute to, because they don't have any expertise in anything either. Their expertise is an illusion created by being upper middle class and going to the right schools and then being handed a job. And that's why a lot of things going on with COVID-19 when it comes to vaccine misinformation, when it comes to distrust, is really just the inability for our pundit class to admit that they are out of their depth when it comes to various forms of knowledge that they have never studied, that they've never been pushed to learn, and that was ultimately cannot be learned through your big genius brain sitting alone in a room. Because I know this nigga's not a fucking... Because that's why Jordan Peterson got completely blown the fuck out by Zizek. And that debate is he just sat in a room, commented in his own brain about Marx, a book that Capital and what Marx is saying in Capital, a book that he could have read and clearly never read it. And that's at the core of a lot of our punditry. It's at the core of a lot of reactionary thinking, that you don't need to cite or engage with any outside sources once you become quote unquote smart enough or platformed enough. If you just think about something hard enough, you just know it. You can learn it. You can contribute more to it than people who are experts in the field. And anytime he speaks to an expert on anything, they just show that you're not informed about this. You're just not informed, but that's fine when you're just quoting him in Vox or some shit because he has a PhD. How you
feel, bro? Right, and on top of that, but that's the thing too about his audience, right? People who Dr. Jordan Peterson, these sort of reactionary right-wing audiences. They are the first. I mean, I had this debate, and I'm not saying Michael Tracy fits that description to a T, but when I had that debate with Michael Tracy, he sort of poo-pooed the idea that I criticized him for not getting any expert sources, not speaking to anyone about COVID-19 policies who would be experts in that field. But that's isn't that so ironic though? The Dr. Jordan Peterson's same audience who shits upon the idea that they need to source experts or people with PhDs or academics or anyone who would have some sort of credential to know what they're talking about in that specific field. They look down upon, they're the elites. Who needs to talk to them to learn? They're going to feed you bullshit anyway. Yet they're the first to go to Dr. Jordan Peterson and say, listen, this guy is smart, because of course he's Dr. Jordan Peterson. Same thing happened with Joe Rogan's recent episode with that scientist who is one of the earliest
take our word for it.
He had one of the earliest discoveries when it came to mRNA vaccinations or something. I had a Dr. Robert Malone, that's his name.
Holy shit.
This guy, if he was saying something pro-vaccine, they would probably shit upon the idea. Of course, he's got this doctorate or whatever, and he knows about mRNA vaccines. Who gives a shit about him? No, he's got an agenda. There's no thinking that way, though. If this guy is talking exactly what they want to hear, in fact, that's when they use that stuff to prop up their ideals.
It reminds me of the same way conservatives, in a less consequential way. It reminds me of the same way conservatives talk about liberal Hollywood, and yet they cannot get enough of someone like Donald Trump or Ronald Reagan or any celebrity endorsement that they get, because they want that credibility, but they just don't want to deal with the majority of the way that community thinks of conservative beliefs.
Absolutely, that's a great one.
I was gonna say, I think to both of your points, one thing that strikes me, like the worst examples of our political media, our critical popular media, whatever you want to call it, news, opinion, whatever, is it's populated by people who presume themselves to be doing deep social science work, but are really too lazy to do any real research. Like people like Jordan Peterson, people like who
beautiful.
What can you buy with $1?
Stop capitalism. They don't want it. Bitcoin. They don't want your money.
Really too
Especially
lazy to do
Bitcoin.
any real research. Like people like Jordan Peterson, people like who are in charge of writing a column a week, who want to do undergraduate level like social science experiments. Like I'm going to ask everyone in my dorm room, or I'm going to ask every friend that I.
Again, those ain't fucking experiments. Those are you doing a survey for fucking Family Feud, yo. Experiments is if you fucking like. These ain't fucking wild animals, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta fuck it. Oh no, they kind of are. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like almost like, you take a handful of the people that you want to be that fucking thing. Because if anybody else says anything different, you shit on them. So and then that's where your surveys go fucking right out the window. And then when those people that on the other side are like, oh yeah, well we have advice for you to lift yourself off your feet, you want to shut them down. And then you keep fucking saying this word set. Like this dude is, they've been saying the same shit and giving no fucking not even any context, just not any like other information, yo. No, they're doing just exactly what the other dude did in TikTok, in fucking what? 18 fucking minutes, bro. Holy shit, yo. They're shitting on a man for 18 minutes. Oh, all right, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. 13 fucking minutes for some shit that he like. Debating on fucking speech. Your shit says the Bible. He's debating on like regular communication, basic translation. He could have even been like, yo, if that was the case, why does everybody speak a different fucking language? Why is sign language the only universal fucking language? Holy shit. It's like, yo, if there was any language that they teach at schools that should be fucking mandatory, it should be fucking sign language. Continue on, yo.
Come in contact with what they think about society, shit, and frame it as though they're engaging with some big, broad swath of America.
All you're doing is asking people questions. How are you engaging?
Big ideas from.
What is engaging
and
about
so, really, what most people are interested in is making big, sweeping social theory without doing any social research. They don't want to talk to anyone they don't know. They don't want to talk to. They don't want to do any like real independent research or even do any real critical like literature review.
They'll tell you what you want.
They just want to talk to their friends. Ignore the fact that they're talking to their friends to get this information and like say, hey,
I can't do it.
Broadly speaking, poor people don't like sandwiches.
You don't ask, and what are you doing with your money?
It's like, yeah, I recognize the trend from having taught undergraduate social science, but there's just no real, I think, attention paid by people who write this sort of stuff. People say stuff to like feeling the need to qualify these statements with, that's why the TikTok was the way it was. A lot of these statements he's making can be true if you qualify them, but no one wants to qualify that like every date they went on this week sucked, but they only date like finance bros, and therefore like their bias is like, or their so their sample is just not a generally applicable samples. But that's just where we're at. We have a political media full of social scientists like PhDs, I guess PhD wannabes in sociology, anthropology, psychology, whatever, who just want to do high school social studies projects and pretend that they deserve PhD for them.
What are you guys doing? What do you? None of you motherfuckers ever go out into the field.
I mean,
I don't see you Channel 5 in it at all.
I don't even know
at all.
What else we can add to that. You guys are on point.
Shit.
I will say, if you're real smart, you can add a graph to what I said, because that just really tricks people. Exactly. Everyone here is so bad at science and math. If you just put a graph next to what you say, even if the graph is like you're really shittily made and like not like communicating the information well, people are like, this is science. It's like if you put a PhD behind your name, like this is a scientist. This is somebody who knows what they're talking about. Like the fact that it's in a different field doesn't matter.
Bourbon.
Another way you could convince people is also make up an amount of money that Brandon has made from what he just said, make it very high, and then they'll go, oh, he's obviously knows what he's talking about. He's made a lot of money from this.
Yep.
You can tell I've made a lot of money when I...
And this shit's probably gone on for quite some time. 17 minutes, I should have fucking sped it up, yo. Fucking 19 minutes, fuck. Yeah, no. Nobody fucking believed in Trump. He was a fucking scumbag businessman in anything he did. Failed businessman. So nobody, or at least me, I know there was a lot of fucking fools out there that did probably believe that shit, but me, no. No. Just because you make money doesn't make you a smart person. He came from money, dog. Holy shit, he lost it, he made it back. He got it back. He didn't even make it back. His dad just gave it to him. Go fuck up something else, son. You guys believe in this shit, but go on.
Replace this Demon Slayer T-shirt with like a gold chain that just has Rengoku and sword out.
It's gonna really make me start liking.
Bourbon says, can Brandon miss one time like for a change? He's always spitting hot fire. So there you go.
Shit.
I feel very strongly about the social science thing because I went to school for social science, and I definitely wasn't a good one, but a good social scientist.
Social science is nothing.
People pretend like the research part of it is the least important part, and like the reading theory and like thinking of big capital T theory is what you should be doing as like, as you navigate the world, opposed to just like talking to people and like getting to like know how they do things. So a lot of people just want to be a teacher, and a lecturer rather, on like the topic of social theory from like their own viewpoint without engaging in the work. And it's like,
and they want the shorthand of having the degree so that like they don't have to actually put in the work of being that convincing, because it's like, I already have credibility with you.
It's funny you mentioned Connor Friedersdorf, because I got into like, he followed me until I said that rich people shouldn't run for anything except their lives. I don't know what's so fucking controversial about that.
What do you consider rich? Because I bet you she's rich in my eyes. I bet you guys are richer than I am.
Even Gritty stole that joke from me and like pretended it was his own. So I thought it was pretty good. And we got to a whole back and forth. And then at some point he told me that like, something. I've talked to a lot of people about how they feel about the rich, and they would find this statement to be I guess exclusionary or something. And all I did was like, it's funny. I'm getting my PhD in anthropology. Like, can you explain to me who you talked to about this and how you found them? And just like,
hello, somebody.
Token black chick. But what the fuck does that have to do with anything? He said, I've talked to people about fucking that sounds like exclusion. It sounds like you're excluding rich people. If you want them to run away from you from shit, the only thing that they should run from is run away. Holy fuck, that is exclusion. But you're gonna say some shit because holy fuck, on my fault. Let this fucking
and I'm excited to announce
this Nina Turner
for Congress in Ohio.
Nobody fucking cares.
To help us launch
nope.
Campaign.
Bitch, you make money on TYT. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. See what I'm saying? She works on TY. Unless that's fucking regular donation type shit, then you should be asking your boy who makes fucking millions every year to help you. Fuck off. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Because this campaign
fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, bitch. No, it's not. Not if you're asking me for money. Yeah, this commercial is for me to give you money. No. No, Tina. No, Tina. No, the only way you can win this race. No, Tina. No. No, Tina. No, Tina. Nope. Not at all. Never. No. Use your own money. Use your own money. You know what I mean? Shanks got
and
fucking
just like
this and that.
Like no ability to explain their sample population, how they found them, what makes them a good representation of the rest of America, and how they feel.
What does that mean?
If I talk to a bunch of people and they told me this thing, just because,
That sounds like exclusion. That sounds like you're excluding people from fucking a study about people. Holy shit. You don't see this? I gotta speed this up, yo. Holy fuck, yo. Word salad. Straight fucking word salad, bro.
My friends are.
Then they're gonna. Wow.
Illuminati Kid says, I used to think L. Ron Hubbard to be one psychologist was harsh, but Peterson makes me realize he doesn't go far enough. Dr. Spaceman says, just so people know, good 30 Rock reference. Dr. Spaceman, I should say. Just so people know, Jordan Peterson is not a scientist, not even the science adjacent. He's a psychologist. Psychologists are not scientists. They don't learn any science and don't practice it. That's why he doesn't.
And like archetype scientists too. Like it's our psychologists too. It's woo.
That's why he doesn't know what he's talking about, right?
That's the thing is like, people talk about Jungian archetypes and like which I think is all, frankly, like that there's actual like synchronicity, things happening at the same time, having meaning for some sort of metaphysical way, whatever. Maybe I'm not doing justice to that concept, but I got in a big back and forth with a Peterson fan about how that is real science.
Oh.
And it's not. But I will say, I think Jordan Peterson should have his tenure to investigate it at the University of Toronto as long as he wants, as long as he puts up with things like Marxist scholars and gender scholars and race history scholars down the hall.
Yeah.
But if he can't do that, then he's got to go.
And that part to me, it's like that's almost like religious adjacent, and it's fairly harmless. But it's the other stuff that I've, obviously that leads people down.
It's the same with Brett Weinstein. Like he gets on stage with Richard Dawkins saying maybe genetics explains World War II, and it's like, look, I think there are some terrible upshots to the type of like thinking that you're doing here with like biological determinism. But like I'm frankly like not trying to censor you. My problem is when you like endorse like Orban methods against humanities departments.
I would say to the synchronicity point, like synchronicity is fine if you want to like think about it, but like a lot of people I think are confusing or like purposely misinterpreting like synchronicity to be that thing that far right demagogues do, where they confuse correlation with causation. And so the fact that two things are happening at the same time must mean they're directly related, as opposed to like having any kind of intermediate variable that like explains both of them better. Like the best example I can think of is when American conservatives try to blame like the rapidly declining social interventions of Americans, broadly speaking, on the influx of migrants from the global south. And it's like, no, those things are related, but they're related to a larger system of like capitalism extracting both from basically everybody except for a handful of people. And the fact that people can identify both those things happening at the same time, but can't identify all of the little black boxes and I would say the cultural things that we're indoctrinated to not notice is important to examine. And I think that's what he kind of means as like postmodernism, that people feel inclined to examine things that were otherwise taken as for granted, which I guess is a part of postmodernism. But what he's describing sounds more like symbolic interactionism. But that's again, that's my social science showing.
I don't know how you can get anything what he's saying.
We're going to take a call in a sec, but there's the surface level magical thinking that I find, the synchronicity part that I find somewhat harmless, and then it's everything that stems from that that is the worst part.
Right. That is some bullshit. And then, wow, what he was saying was real simplistic. You know what I mean? Everything he was saying was simplistic, and the dude was even agreeing with them, but always putting on a but. It's like, damn, dude, if you had a but, you should let the nigga fucking complete his sentences. You know what I mean? Don't butt him in the fucking middle of what he's saying. Holy shit. Then these dudes chirping in. He's the fucking same thing as this guy saying this, holy fucking shit. And what's crazy is none of this shit's fucking applicable. They don't fucking apply any of this shit to fucking real life besides this. Besides going on to YouTube, having fucking senators ask you for fucking money, bro. Crazy. Fucking crazy, dog. Yo. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit, dog. You guys, you gotta stop, yo. And again, this is why you can slowly see that you guys only got one person to pick on now. If it's not this dude, I guess it's Trump. You know what I'm saying? And when you got some other guy calling in, asking you, like, why don't you talk about any of these other dudes? Oh, no, well, they gotta do it. And you even fucking, you're like, I don't even know if you're saying it's all right to take bribes, to accept bribes or offer bribes. But what the fuck is this giving $5,000 or even money to people for campaigns or some shit? When that money could be going to the American people. Remember, we're hungry. Our kids need to go to school, yo. Fuck other people running for shit. They should be, if you want to run for something, get out there and start working for your money, dog. Holy shit, dog. This shit's nuts. Don't be asking people for fucking money. Unless this isn't a church. This is fucking exactly like church, dog, yo. Fucking God helps those who help themselves. Fuck you all, yo. Holy shit.